10, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours.
Uh-huh.
It has
Uh-huh.
been 15 hours so far. The computer has only crashed once.
Oh, well, that's
Unfortunately,
good.
unfortunately, it was during Shy Red Fox's stream,
Oh
and
no.
all of the people. Okay, I had like 147 people raid from
Oh my
World
God.
Anvil, and I hit a level 5 hype train, all of which is going to the Kids Need to Read,
That's
and
fantastic.
it is wonderful. But the problem is, all of the people who were following me, who were just kind of lurking, dropped off. And so it is what it
Uh,
is. You know, Twitch is being Twitch, and computers, well, they've served me okay so far.
they'll be back.
Yeah. But how are
Pretty
you doing? See, this is just one day for me. You've been doing this all month long with the Game
much.
of Tomes.
Yes, yes, I'm exhausted and excited, and I've had a lot of fun, and I can't wait for tomorrow. And I'm also kind of dreading it because then it'll all be over.
Yeah. So um what was the latest statistics as of the last time? Not up,
uh,
I don't want new numbers, but just as of the last report.
okay, okay. I think I can do that. Just a second here. I'll look at my thing here. Yes, okay. As of round five, we had, what was it? Oh, just a second now. The grand total updates with the information, so I don't have what the last grand total was, but it should be handy around here. I've just got to find this sheet. It was something like 1.85 million words
Holy
total
cow.
for everybody. Yeah, it's, and we've looked at it now, and I think we have something like 135 people participated, which is way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, that is huge. That is huge. But it worked out really well to still only have the 6 houses, because
Yeah,
if you had more houses than that, you would have had to have more cullings more frequently, and that could have been more of a headache.
yeah, actually, the paperwork ultimately turned out to be easier than I thought it was going to be in many ways because Darth Nicholas is a genius and he created a really simple spreadsheet reporting system so that totals were just automatically updated. So keeping track of the number of words was not at all the nightmare that I expected. Yeah, it was
Oh,
good. Where the problem came in, where there was a problem, was just keeping track of all the names of people and which
oh,
houses they were in, especially near the beginning. But Songbird jumped in and helped me out, and that made it a lot easier.
oh, good.
So
Oh, good. Well, I'm not going to ask you for a commitment about next year, but I'm just saying I have thoroughly enjoyed this year. But it has been a really crazy time. And right now, I have 31 requests for me to submit, and I will be getting those to you probably tonight after the stream. I'll try to turn those in as quickly as I can
no problem.
before going to bed. So it has been a truly wonderful experience. But for those of you, those in the audience, please, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and your writing adventures?
Okay, sure. Well, I'm known in the World Anvil community and online in most places as SableAradia, and my name is Diane Morrison, and I am a science fiction and fantasy and nonfiction witchcraft author under the different names, right? Diane Morrison is for my fiction, and SableAradia is for my nonfiction pagan stuff. I've been traditionally and independently published. I've put a couple of stories in a few, I'm what they call a neo pro uh, science fiction fantasy writer because I've had a few stories in pro markets, and I'm just kind of at the start of my career, I would say. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I
Wow.
write two worlds on World Anvil. I do the Toy Soldier Saga, which is fantasy space opera, and the Weird West, which is a post-apocalyptic steampunk fantasy western setting.
And most of these are available to those your patrons who are subscribers to your worlds. Is that right?
Yep, absolutely. Plus all the fiction. I try to put out a chapter a week in each setting. More accurately, I do 3 out of the 4 weeks in the month. But yeah, yeah. And Aaron, my husband, Aaron Ree, also does role playing game material for both settings, and that's available for a slightly higher patron rate as well.
Okay. And he is the what is it? Ask the an old GM anything. Is that his?
Yeah, Ask an Old GM runs Tuesdays and Fridays on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/SableAradia.
Okay. Yeah, those are they are some enjoyable times and a wealth of information. And I hope you're staying warm up there in Canada. Um,
It
because
finally got cold and wet now. It snowed. There was a big snow, and then it
okay.
melted. And now it's hovering around, 0, 1 Celsius, which, colder than I like, but not
All
as
right.
cold as it could be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be building a prompt together for this collaborative world. And uh, so it's basically anything that you would like to have added, and I'll work you through and make sure that it fits in the world. Because using the microscope RPG system, it's building on, and one of the fun challenges is that not everyone is here for all 24 hours, and trying to make sure
Right.
that it all kind of still fits into the world. So it is fun. So do you have any ideas or any specific things that you would like to dig into?
Perhaps it would be, is there I don't know, can you give me like a Reader's Digest summary of what we've got so far? Then I could
Sure.
know where to go from there.
Okay,
Can I
we
answer Mergendor's question, by the way?
you bet.
Yeah, Mergendor said, "Are you going to tell us what percentage of Game of Thrones participants won Nano?" I was wondering if it was higher than the overall Nano stats. Yes, it is higher, and yes, we will tell you when everything is said and done. We will. Nick's been keeping track of that, so yes, we will tell you.
Wow. All the stats, cool. All right. So what we have is we have a world where magic, modern magic, has trumped science, meaning trumped technology, because science is a process, technology is a byproduct. So there are no humans. There was a great magical calamity in the beginning of the world where all of the humans that were there had to adapt to non-human status, like merfolk or a whole bunch of bizarre creatures we've come up with. But then they are now living across this world, and magic is more prevalent than technology. We have a dark age, an enlightenment where magic comes back. We have global exploration. We have a magical evolution because some of these creatures, through experimentation, turned into dragons. And so instead of dragons being in an ancient setting that is then forgotten, they are a
I
modern
like that.
thing. And then we have a dystopian calamity in the last era where the magic and the technologists get together, they make mistakes, they blow up the destruction of both magic, both technology, and they reduce all civilizations and governments back to the Stone Age.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a very happy ending. So what you can do is you can fit any of the World Anvil prompts into any of these different eras that you would like. And
Okay, so this would be the random prompt system. I should go there and find what random prompt comes up.
sure, if you want
Okay,
it, yeah, we can do that. I didn't
let's
even
do it.
think of that.
Why not? I think that would be. I like random stuff. Then run with it. I was looking forward to that challenge. Oh, So what came up in my browser was describe a famous criminal organization and the unlawful acts they commit in your world.
Perfect.
I
So
like it.
now, the first question I have about this criminal organization is which era would you like them to be in? Because they could be either in a medieval setting, they can be in a Columbus Magellan setting, they could be in a quasi modern world setting where there is technology over ruled by the dragons or influenced by the dragons, or they can be in the dystopian. So even though there are light periods of time, they don't have to be purely light. And so you could, where would you like to put those?
You know what? Let's go for the age of sail. Let's have some pirates.
All right. So this is the era, and we will put that in the global exploration. Should I be surprised that you wanted to do pirates?
Probably not, though.
Okay.
Pirates come easily to me. What can I say?
Okay, so the pirates are um they're okay, so let's talk. Most of the ships are still using sail and wood and what we would consider normal 1700s sailing ships. However, there is a a magic where they have the ability to have hover carts. So
Okay.
so these carts can float in the air, but they can't propel themselves. There's only enough magic to do the levitation, and so it's okay for like crossing streams, pulling down the road, but it's not good for long travel unless they can harness sea creatures, whales, dolphins, or whatnot, to pull them.
Okay.
But
Okay.
then those are also those are also ships that are small enough that could be pulled by an animal, unless you have a whale. But who knows what? So the world that we're in is mostly uh, uh, wooden ships, the clipper ships, the large Spanish galleons, but they're non-humans and they can be any kind of humanoid type of person that we have.
Right. And what do we have for our? We've got merfolk, and we've got what else have we got?
We
We've got
have
dragons.
we have dragons. We have merfolk. We also have the fishkin. No, markin. The markin. When the during this great calamity, some of the humans saved themselves by turning their legs into fins, but others turned their heads into different creatures. Kiddopoi is the one who has spent most time with the salamander people. So we have
Oh, okay.
humanoid salamander skinned type people, but it could be. We have spent a lot of time with creatures under the water. We haven't spent a lot of time with creatures on the land or in the air. So that's still a fresh area.
Okay, that's interesting. Now my question is, do you guys think that we should do like, multiracial pirate organizations? Pirates tend to be pretty equal opportunity groups. If you want to come and, fight and, work and aim your, whatever your weaponry is at the other ships, then they don't care what you are, right? So, yes, the more the merrier, says Kit.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
the
cool.
the way that Kip described, yeah, his salamander people were pirate headhunters, but it seemed to be confined in the area around the one continent that they were located. But yeah, it meant multiracial pirates, as Twinkle Toes the Berserker says, is very plausible. But what would
Magic Beyond Your Ken says to me, pirates always follow a code of laws, though. That's not exactly true. Pirates generally follow the code of if you screw each other, you will be shot, or stabbed. They're polite because they're all armed, okay? That's really, they, and if they think they can get away with betraying each other, they sometimes do, right? So it's not really like, Pirates of the Caribbean is all fun and stuff, but there is no real pirate code. There could be in this world. I don't see, if people think that'd be fun, I'd be totally willing to run with that. But you know,
well, what's most fun for you? This is your prompt.
okay, well, the question, okay, where's the wealth? There's the question. Where's the wealth? Because that's where the pirates are going to be.
Ah, that's a good point because we really haven't delved into the economies of the world. It the so I don't know because
Okay,
we do have a lot of magic, so we would have a lot of magical items. There is the um, what's the most author goddess? What's the most resource heavy continent?
right.
That's a good point.
In order to have age of sail technology with, uh, sailing ships, you require a lot of infrastructure and a fairly wealthy economy, right? Like that's needed in order to sustain it. So there's going to be this is probably going to be the beginning of a colonial age. There are going to be people fighting over resources, and these different powers are going to have interest in, protecting those resources and their colonies, right? So
Okay. A colonial age where people are fighting over resources and protecting trade routes.
yeah, exactly. Hmm. Yeah, good point there about Sid Bonnet and Ed Teach. Yep. The most successful pirates do maintain a strict code on their ships and enforce it lethally. And that's because, just like in any other organization, actually working together is more effective and you get things done. If you're working against each other, the organization falls apart and you can't accomplish anything.
Yeah, there is it.
Oh, good night, Natalia.
All right. Okay, and Tula Carew said, but this got banned. Where there are wenches and mead, there be pirates.
Yep. Yep, pretty much. Yep.
All right,
Or
so
the wenches come and be the pirates, and maybe they look for boys they can play with. Happened more often than people think.
I've heard of it, but not a part of history that I have often delved into studying.
I
Okay,
kind of have a focused interest, so yeah.
okay, so there's a strong code of rules on a ship under one captain, but uh, outside of that, might makes right, and don't. Um, I love the hard Hogwarts theme is uh, never do not tickle a sleeping dragon, and so I do like that. So don't antagonize others with weapons. Okay. Oh wow, we got a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, and a lot of good points here in the chat, I see. Yeah. Sometimes it's not as much about wealth as it is about easy picking, says Jovial GM. Right? There are pirates off the coast of
Yeah.
Somalia, not because there's a lot of wealth in the region, but because with an undefended coast, ships from other nations began fishing off the Somalian coast and dumping toxic waste. These ships didn't have a lot of expensive cargo, but the ships themselves could be stripped and parts sold. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh.
And that's a good example of modern piracy. right? Basilcat says, I mean, if the crew is so busy betraying each other, they'll not be very good in a raid. Exactly. Yeah, Grain O'Malley, or as she's known among the English, Grace O'Malley, Eli. Yeah, one of the figures I studied. Yeah, she's very interesting. Yeah. Um, Yep, no women and callers on board while in port and lights out by Eighth Bell, a pirate based out of Nassau. Yeah, that was a thing. Mostly because if your crew is carousing too much, they're not going to be very effective at their job either, right? So you
Right.
kind of have to make limits. Yeah. So yeah, the successful pirates are the ones who have rules and structure. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Okay.
Have I missed anything, Greg,
No,
from
but
the
I just
chat?
don't know how to put everything in in a prompter.
Oh no.
No, this is
There's no room for all that for sure. It's just a matter of okay. So first of all, we might end up spending more time developing the economy
yeah.
and the situation than we are going to develop the pirates. And maybe the next world builder will have to worry about the pirates because we need to know what it is that they're stealing from
Yeah,
first.
definitely.
Right. So I don't know. Is there a place that you think would be ideal? Because like you said, I haven't been here for the full 24 hours, right? So,
Well, the funny thing is, in the amount of time that we've spent together, we've only defined one nation, and it's just one tiny island off the coast of the four different continents. We
oh,
still
geez,
have,
we got work to do.
yeah. Well, I'm just going with how the dice roll and what people have been interested in. But yeah, if this is to be let if I take I'm strongly considering using this as a world ember and just launch straight off into this because this has been so fun. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be filled in between the things that have been brought here. So with a magical society, what would be things that the economy would be based on? Because there's still the hierarchy of needs that people still have. We still need to eat, sleep, um, per, have safety, and all that stuff. So would an economy be all that different than what we would see in the colonial at times?
I don't think so, right? Like I've approached this in my own writing because a lot of my stuff is it codes like science, but it's all magic, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah, we have the same needs. It depends on what your magic can do. Can magic conjure food out of nothing?
I don't think so, but we really haven't. Again, we just defined that there is magic is over technology, and so other than that, we haven't really defined it.
Right. Okay. So if magic can conjure food from nothing, then we have a post scarcity economy, which means that we have no need for pirates or colonial powers, right? Because everybody has enough and they're
Oh.
not worried about protecting their resources. If but if magic can't do that, what can it do? Maybe it can improve crop yield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe magic can, maybe the magic requires power, something to power it, in which case the source of that power is going to be an incredibly valued resource that people are going to be willing to kill each other over, right? So, a
Yeah.
couple different ways of looking at it. Which way do we want to go?
Oh, I'm not sure if my brain's going to be able to handle this. I do like the point that magic does not create a post scarcity world because that just really gets rid of a lot of the tension and the economy. So I need to magic does not resources needed to be a post scarcity world. Okay, thus the needs for colonialism and trading that is subjected to piracy exists. Okay, and the well, this, I mean, this would definitely still be an agrarian age because if you had the technology to have, if you had the development to have a modern technology, it would be more of an industrial era than an agricultural era.
Right.
So,
But hey, maybe magic takes a while to, develop in like perhaps the evolution of the use of magic parallels the evolution of technology in that people have to figure out first of all scientific method or shall archaeological method or whatever you're
right,
going to
right,
call it, right? And then they have to build on existing theories and structures in order to create bigger theories and structures, right? Like the evolution of warfare and strategy is really interesting. There were no spies as we understand them back in the Bronze Age, right? They just didn't exist. And this is something that I have trouble wrapping my head around. It's because nobody thought of it, right? Nobody
mm,
thought of it. There wasn't any need for it the way they saw warfare at the time. It's something that started developing in the colonial era again. And at first it was nothing like we currently have. There was no secret agents. There were people, like there were officers who went during the Napoleonic Wars, officers who went riding in each other's countries because if they to scout, because if they were caught, there was a tradition of ransoming them back to their other nation, so they just sit in their jail until it was time for them to be ransomed back. There was no risk of actual death, so that's what they did. And the secret agent stuff is a very modern invention, right? So things build like that. Maybe nobody thought of using magic to like uh, improve the growth medium for a while. And then once they did, maybe people didn't think about using magic to, assure that there were no bugs for a while. Like it grows like that.
wow.
I'm sorry, am I making things complicated?
No, no. This is like a master class, because yeah, you got to know how before they can shortcut the process, as author goddess said. And this is those of us who are newer to writing, such as myself. It's these kind of unintended consequences that must be understood to make the world very believable, but also to make it so that you can, do things. And so, yeah. Um, let's magic.
Okay,
Okay, maybe you can have a creation magic that can only happen in certain nodes of the world, like in certain points, and all the efforts of city colonization are in those locations failed. And there's only relatively few of them in the world, and the magic there is volatile and unpredictable. Other magic in the world is a fraction of the power of those nodes and much easier to control and learn by colonized areas.
sure. I like that. Let's run with that, Greg. I
Okay.
can I can totally grow ideas out of that because yes, Eli's absolutely right. If it okay, so it makes sense. If there are nodes of magic, like say there's I'm frozen. Interesting.
No, it's
Okay,
it's because I tabbed away from the
oh, that's
screen.
fine. Okay. Right. But if we're talking about, say there's ley lines or something like that, right? There will be areas where a bunch of them will cross, especially major areas, and those will be nexus points. In those nexus points, there's bound to be a lot of chaotic energy, and just it's a trope in fantasy fiction that when that happens it's like tectonic plates grinding together and you get earthquakes and storms and a whole bunch of general nastiness that makes it very difficult to actually settle.
Right.
But people, if that's where the creation stuff happens, people will still be fighting over control of that resource, so they'll be fighting over borders and trying to keep those nodes within their borders, even though they're dangerous, right? So there's a resource that people would actively protect.
Yeah. Fighting
Now we
for.
have colonies, so now we can have, uh, we can have, uh, yeah, a colonial age and a source of. a source of wealth.
Keep the nodes within controlled area, even if they are dangerous. Okay.
Sudian says, as Sable said, maybe ley lines. I was wondering what other sorts of things might cause such an effect. Well, if magic is liquid and it pours through the mantle of the earth, then it might spew up in volcanoes. There's another option.
Well, yeah,
Transplanter white holes that spill magic into the world like a fountain. There's another one. Yeah, there's many different ways this could be done. But I think I personally would like to stick with ley lines because I understand them. I don't know how you feel about it, Greg.
um, well, ley lines kind of like tech. Or you said ley lines are kind of like the borders between tectonic plates. The more ley lines that cross, the more powerful the thing.
Right.
But one Magic Beyond Yorkin said moving nodes,
Yeah,
borders
in
need
which
just.
case, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Oh,
but
oh
yeah,
no, but how fast would they move? I mean, are we talking tectonic speed or are we talking slightly faster than that?
it depends, right? Like if we're talking about ley lines, then that's probably not a good choice if we want them to move, right? Moving would be better with something like, the transplanter white holes, right? They're just random places where reality is, the stuff of creation pours through from some other dimension, right? That would be a really mobile source, right? And I could see it if magic is liquid and it pours up from underground like lava, then that's still mobile but less so, right? It's that would take ages. So I like the white holes, the thin areas in reality if we want them to be mobile. That's an interesting question too. Author Goddess says, would the magic then pool in places? Yeah, I imagine it could. If one of these holes stayed in one spot for a long time, I imagine that magical energy would accumulate on the area around it and it would become more and more dangerous to live in over time.
Okay, the idea that yeah, a magic lake, no one would fight over that. They would want to, but I don't know if they could.
Right.
But so we have talked about one of the rules that we had was that magic was hereditary, or it was a race-based magical system. How would these planar white holes that provide the magical energy and that moves around the world, how would that relate to the idea of magic being based on the hereditary nature of different species?
Okay, I think you can steal whole hawk from Mercedes Lackey here, right? In her Valdemar books, mages are kind of born with the ability or not. And it's really a matter of how good of a conduit you are for the energies. It's not that you're generating the power, it's that you're conducting the power. You can practice it and get better, but you're born with a certain amount of capability and you could reach a limit, right? Yeah.
Okay. So the difference between some people are born copper, some people are born aluminum, some people are born gold, some people are and some people just need to purify the gold within them because gold is more a powerful conductor than iron and copper and all those things. So
Makes, yeah, yeah,
so
exactly.
okay, so people could be born gold, but yet not refined enough. But those who are copper could be so refined that they're still more powerful than those people who are made of unrefined gold.
I like that. That makes sense to me.
Okay, and I don't know. I must be missing something important because I don't know who Mercedes Lackey is.
Oh, well, she's a fantasy writer who's been around for a long time.
is
The Herald
okay?
Mage of Valdemar, the last Herald Mage of Valdemar trilogy is one of my favorites. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to type her name right there as a note. Okay, so mages are born with the ability to conduct power. They can be uh, purified and improve their conductivity, but um, can only go so far. Those with less potential could um, surpass those with greater potential, but depends on training. Yeah, I think I got that.
I'm seeing a lot of love for Mercedes Lackey and her husband Larry Dixon in the chat. I had the opportunity to interview them. I was volunteering as the manager for the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America YouTube channel, and I was doing a program uh, called The Panel, where I was just having science fiction and fantasy writers on and talking about whatever. And I had them on my fantasy panel, and they were amazing.
Oh,
So yeah, and I
wow.
still talk to Larry Dixon on a regular basis on Twitter. So yeah,
Oh, how cool.
it is cool. I was fangirling all over the place. It was great.
Well, that is pretty cool. Okay, well, I really we've been going for 40 minutes, and I think
Mm,
the amazing thing about this is we start with one article, and the more we go on it is like five different articles now that we can just take from this and go for it. So this has been awesome. And my wife wonders why I'm not falling asleep. It's because I'm not falling asleep because we're doing so many cool and awesome things in here. Uh,
absolutely,
all that.
absolutely. I can't
So
wait to see what people make of this now that we've got that raw material.
yeah, and yeah, this is all publicly available and published and all that stuff. But uh, uh, okay, SableAradia, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful experience, and from on behalf of everybody who has participated in the Game of Tomes, thank you. Thank you very much. You have made the lives of writers around here much more enjoyable. And honestly, without the Game of Tomes, I would not have had the success that I've had raising money for the Kids Need to Read Charity Foundation because darn it,
Cool.
they wanted my mercenary words. And they were dedicated in getting them.
That I was there for the big bid off at the one point. That was a lot of fun. I'm so glad you're doing this. Thank you for supporting kids literacy and all that you've been doing. You've been amazing in this, and thanks for, I don't know, your enthusiasm. And I just want to say thank you to everybody else who's been playing and getting involved, and especially donating to your cause,
Yeah.
because I think that that is awesome. And donate if you haven't already, because it's good.
we do
Okay.
we do have a question from Magic Beyond Yorkin. Who has won the
Okay.
Game of Tomes?
Ha ha ha! You will find out tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the final stream. It will be at 1 p.m. Pacific. I think, oh, just a second, I'll check the GMT because I know we have lots of people who are not in North America. Um, Yes, so that's 9 p.m. GMT, and we will announce the winner and we will announce the totals and give all the figures and do a recap. And I've got clips we're going to play. And if you guys have anything, like a voice of the people type message that you want to send, or you've got clips you want to share with me, get a hold of me on Discord or whisper me on here on Twitch, and I will be happy to share those with the audience as well. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of
Excellent.
fun.
And here I am placing the link to your Twitch channel down here. Do you have a website that you would also like to have linked at the bottom of this article?
Oh, that's a good question. Why don't you just link my author page at World Anvil? I think that makes
Got it.
more sense. People can find everything from there.
Okay, Sable Aradia. Let's see if it. Yep, there's the. It's amazing. World Anvil, one word, and the username, and it just comes right up.
Yeah, they've got very good web presence, and one of the excellent features of the site if you're trying to get your stuff out there for sure.
Yeah, I look forward to the day when I have enough of my stories edited to actually put it out there. But because I, starting so new with all of this, it has been a fire hose to drink from. But
It's a lot of information, and so much you don't know whose advice to trust, and but you know what? We've got a really great community of writers here in the World Anvil community. So,
mhm.
let's all talk to each other. Danny Adventures is spearheading and a way to kind of bring us all together, the writers of World Anvil. So, talk to her. I didn't have we haven't had time to get into it obviously because of Nano and the Game of Tomes, but coming up in January especially, she's really going to be working on it, and I'm definitely going to support the effort, and I hope that you will too. And
Yeah.
then we can share resources and help each other out.
I don't have many plans beyond midnight tonight, so it was all gathering up to this day, and I look forward to you being able to take a nap sometime this week.
Yeah, you might not see me for the first week of World Ember. I might be sleeping.
Sounds excellent. Well, thank you so much, SableAradia. Please, everyone, follow and check out SableAradia's Twitch channel and find out the ending of the Game of Tomes tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. East Pacific?
1 p.m. Pacific.
1
Yep.
p.m. Pacific. I
9
automatically
p.m. GMT.
Yeah, I automatically translated it to Mountain Time. So 1 p.m. Pacific. So thank you very much and have a great day.
This was a pleasure.
Yep.
Have fun.
Hey, yeah, I have 7 hours, 8 hours left.
You can do it.
I can do it. I can do it.
You
All
can do
right.
it.
See ya.
Okay.